How many times have you heard people say that? America needs to have an uncomfortable conversation about race. They never mean things like black on black crime. They never mean things like the fact that the greater percentage of hate crime against Asian is done by black people. They never mean the crappy education blacks are getting K through 12. They never mean the high percentage of public school teachers with school-age kids who don't put their own kids in public school. They never mean the damage done to the family in America in general and the black family in particular by the welfare state. They don't mean that. It's beyond obnoxious. Al Sharpton. Kingmaker. Now, the Virginia teacher in the video berating the student, teacher holds up a picture, and the picture is of a young woman who appears to be white and a young woman who appears to be black, light-skinned black woman. And it turns out that these two people are twins, biracial twins. Common father, common mother. White father, half Jamaican mother. And one has much darker skin and curlier hair, and one has red hair and very straight skin. The mom said, quote, she did a double take when she looked at her daughters the first time. It was such a shock because things like skin color don't show up in scans. So we had no idea they were so different. When the midwife handed us both to her, we were just speechless. And the girls themselves say they like it because many twins look like peas in a pod. We look so different. So no one confuses us. So they're very happy. They love each other. So it makes what the student said about his reaction to the picture, to me, all the more relevant. He said, these are just two people chilling. And it turns out these are two sisters who love each other, and they were just having a relaxing moment. And the teacher apparently wanted them to say something about one being black and one being white. And I have no idea what the teacher wanted the student to say. Neither does the student.
The story behind this picture, I'd rather hold on to that. Just tell me what this seems to be a picture of.
It's just two people chilling.
Right, just two people. There's nothing more to this picture?
Nah, not really. Just two people chilling.
I don't believe that you believe that. I don't believe that you look at this as just two people. I don't think
truly
you
is just two people, though, is it not?
Yeah, but I think you're being intentionally coy about what this is a picture of.
What would I be being coy about? It's two people standing back to back in a picture.
Yeah, and that's all you see is two people.
I'm confused on what you would like me to speak on in that sense.
I don't think you are. I don't know why you do this. I'm not trying to call you out, but you come out off of mute to talk about what this is a picture of, and you act as if there's nothing noticeable about this apart from the fact that they're two people.
Well, I'm confused. Are you trying to get me to say that there are two different races in this picture?
Yes,
is that what you want me to say? Well, at the end of the day, wouldn't that just be feeding into the problem of looking at race instead of just acknowledging them as two normal people?
No, it's not, because you can't look at the people and not acknowledge that there are racial differences, right?
But if we're going for, let's say if we're looking for equality within all this, then why would we need to point out things such as that?
Because those differences are real things. You can't.
So the teacher obviously knew that the pictures were of twins, and I guess he wanted somebody to say something about how different these two people are, and then he's going to say, but they really are twins, to prove what? Again, this reminds me of that exchange that newscaster, sportscaster Harold Carmichael had with Mookie Betts, the Dodger great player, Harold Reynolds. Thank you, Harold Reynolds. And after the game that the Dodgers won, Harold Reynolds says this to Mookie Betts. Listen to this.
Well, Mook, when you get to the World Series, everything's magnified. And one of the things everybody's talking about across the country, you're the only African-American player in the World Series. So when did you learn that, and what are your thoughts when you think about that?
Learned it just now.
What are your thoughts when you think about that? I mean, based upon the analysis of that Virginia high school teacher, how in the world? I just don't believe you. I just don't believe you. I think you're trying to be coy. Phil Ivey, the black great poker player.
Has race been a factor at all?
Has race been a factor? No. Not in poker. In poker, they only see one color. That's green.
Sorry,
Well, Mook, you know, when you get to the World Series, everything's magnified. And one of the things everybody's talking about across the country, you're the only African-American player in the World Series.
Notice this. One of the things everybody's talking about in the country. Really? Like who?
Talking about across the country, you're the only African-American player in the World Series. So when did you learn that, and what are your thoughts when you think about that?
Learned it just now.
Everybody's talking about it. Everybody, they learned it just now.
Has race been a factor at all?
Has race been a factor? No. Not in poker. In poker, they only see one color. That's green.
I don't believe you. I think you're being coy.